This is several days post SHOT Show 2018, and after the wind down and some decompression, Gear Challenge has a view after the evening, after the early morning, of what is reportedly the largest and best blue moon in some time. We're not getting the best focus on this. Of course, this being the almost about the most brightest natural light source out here this evening. We thought that would be an appropriate shot for right now. Up for a little closer examination will be the Fenix TK72R. That's the Fenix TK72R that we have been loaned during SHOT Show. We have an arrangement with one of their staff members and the United States distributor to have quite a level of free rein in testing this flashlight tonight and over the course of the next few weeks. And we feel relatively honored to be able to do that without any obligation upon Gear Challenge or myself. For this evening's test and evaluation in somewhat ambient type normal, somewhat urban environments, where we do have a variety of different light sources from light posts, etc. We feel that this is one of the more natural and more common natural environments to be using a light source. We'll be comparing it, as has become somewhat of a standard, at least for us, with the Streamlight Stinger LED, the DS LED. I don't think that there's going to be much of a match, but again, just so that most regular users, people that are using flashlights in a professional setting, will have some comparison to go by. The lighting environment, or the light environment that we're in, is one with a variety of trees that are casting shadows from a overhead light, another overhead light through that tree line there, and some additional lights around us. But as you can tell, there are a number of dark spots that would, under a variety of reasons, or for a variety of reasons, one may want to be able to adequately illuminate for safety purposes or search purposes. The block light wall here in the background is another point of contention, and then the building wall, this large warehouse wall in the background just beyond this tree line of some relatively tall trees, is another source that we have used in the past, again to replicate some natural environment or some environmental considerations for an urban or a somewhat urban setting. There's also quite a bit of shadow underneath these trees here. We've got light being cast down that's adding to that shadow effect. And then we also have a building here that we will be checking to see and verify light penetration of the Fenix flashlight. So just by way of initial settings, and we ran through this at SHOT Show, the Fenix TK72R has some relatively rudimentary user interface with an on and off button here and cycling up and down buttons to the left and right of that. So we'll just go ahead and, on the baseline of these shrubs here, shrubbery for those who like the Monty Python concept, we'll go ahead and tap this on. Now keep in mind that this light device is not a final production piece. It is a pre-production piece, in essence a prototype of sorts. So if we tap this, we're getting a 0% on the reading on the screen there. This is a fully charged light, so I'm not sure why we're getting the 00 as a percentage rating on the battery, but I noticed that when I was charging this light, that even though it was at full capacity, it seemed to indicate that it was still being charged. And again, that may be because this is a pre-production piece. So we're going to press and hold down the power button, and we get a flash, a bit of a strobe, and we've got, you know, relatively good lighting at what is depicted as a 100 lumen setting. That would be the lowest setting for this light. So this has been initiated and deployed at the lowest setting, and for immediate ground and immediate terrain, it's more than adequate for my eyesight. Now I'm going to bring this back over here, and I'm going to, if I tap it again, it will go up to the maximum setting, which is 9,000 lumens, or reportedly 9,000 lumens. So we're going to focus on this area here and tap that, and that is at the 9,000 lumen setting. Let's see if this picks up properly. It looks like it is. That can be seen. We can see the dust drifting through the air, and this tree line here is just completely lit up with some brilliant, to my eyes, quite white light. This is not a yellowish hue. It is incredibly bright, incredibly white. This pine tree here, again, will bring the light down and away. Bring it up. That light is completely illuminated. At this farther distance, which is approximately 50 to 60 yards, we have that tree line there completely illuminated, and penetration all the way to the wall. Bringing it down and away, you can see that there's quite a bit of shadow there, and any elements that might be in that tree line would be shrouded by shade, and in this capacity, anything that would be in those main branches or the trunk area is completely illuminated. Now, I'm going to bring this down to off, and we can utilize the Streamlight Stinger at its maximum setting, and we can see the penetration. Of course, this is a very penetrating light throw, and it's illuminating those tree trunks and the branches quite well, but it is not by no means an area light or an area searchlight. And of course, we're illuminating this pine tree here, and then this area here as well. Streamlight is a more than adequate light for most user purposes, but as you can see, quite a difference in the Fenix TK72R. This is just an incredibly bright light, a very wide, not view, but a very wide cast of beam, and even completely illuminating those tree lines over there. It's just blowing up the entire area. Now I gotta say that at the 9,000 lumen setting, the head is getting quite warm at this point. It was on for perhaps a minute or two, maybe three, but the heat sink of the head with the cutouts is actually helping quite a bit, I believe, with reducing the temperature. Now we're going to go ahead and run this as we have in the past by comparing the Streamlight on some windows. We have Streamlight on high, these windows here, and we're getting a good penetration on through the glass into the area of this building. It is, you know, more than adequate to at least get a bit of a view. However, if we switch this over and see what happens with the Fenix, this will strobe on to low, tap it for high, and as you can see, we've got, I mean, we can see all the way to the rear of this building here, and there's a bit of reflection from this wall in the center, just to the center there, but complete illumination into that room there. We'll try a comparison with the little bit of a problem with that cycling back on, and comparing once again with the stinger, we are getting illumination through, but there's also quite a bit of glare, opposition glare, that is deflecting and not really allowing a complete view to the complete rear of that room past that paint product and other products. Coming back to the Fenix, it's strobed on, and it's strobed on to low at 100 lumen. Tap it again, and now we can see completely, at least with the naked eye, completely through into that room, and actually the entire front of this building is just lit up like a huge searchlight. So once again, the Fenix at 9,000 lumens, the battery reading indicator, I believe, is off on this. It's indicating 0% and 0% battery, but of course that is not the case, as you can easily see and tell. I mean, that's completely lighting up this entire area with brilliant white light. If you're needing to attend to wounded or injured persons, according to EMTs and combat medics that I have spoken to, the preferred light is white light, so that you can get an actual tell on the skin tones, etc. And although this thing is really getting hot at this point, so there will be some more testing and evaluation on this light in the future. It's actually getting a bit too hot to touch now. Yeah, just a bit too hot to touch on the head. So we'll go ahead and strobe this down. And that is it for now with the Fenix TK72R.